Hey, this is Alex, and this is a video about the NAS training program, which is a weightlifting training regimen that I've created based off of some research done over the last couple months, trying to figure out what would be an optimal way to exercise and make progress and have sweet gains. So let's get started. NAS stands for Normal, Accommodated, and Suspended Training. So normal training is good because it's obviously proven and it's another variation that hits our muscles in a certain way as opposed to the other training methods. Accommodated would be the second training method, which allows your exercises to better match your strength curves, can get your body used to handling heavier weights, and once again it provides another variation or a different type of training stimulus. So the last technique used is suspended training, which promotes the use of stabilization muscles, which could theoretically lead to a lower risk of injury. It also engages your core and abs a lot more, and again, it's just another different type of stimulus for your body. So I've created a Google Sheet that accompanies the training program, and it basically tells you exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it. So it starts with wave 1, and you can think of waves like weeks. And so basically week 1 over 4 sessions, you're going to find your 1 rep maxes for each the deadlift, overhead press, squat, and bench press. And the reason for this is because then you have a closed loop where you're actually determining, based on your performance, the amount of weight that you'll be doing, as opposed to systems which just say, increase by 5 pounds every month or 10 pounds every month. It's definitely possible if you're new to weightlifting or exercising with a lot of intensity to possibly gain a lot more strength than that. So this ensures that you don't, maybe you've gained 20 pounds of strength, but the program said move up 5 pounds, and you basically are wasting the next month lifting weights that are going to be a little too easy for you to be lifting and not making the progress you could be. So anyway, here's a demonstration of what week 1 would typically look like. So we're going to start with the deadlift, and we're going to do our normal 1 rep max first. So you're just going to want to warm up, and then you're just going to do a normal 1 rep max pull. Okay, after you found your normal 1 rep max, you want to do your accommodated 1 rep max. And accommodated means that the weight load becomes dynamic, and basically I'm using these bands to assist in making the weight lighter at the bottom and heavier on the top. And the reason that this training is good is it changes the strength curve and it allows things like I can lift heavier weights like this, so my weaker muscles are not restricting my stronger muscles that can potentially lift heavier weights. So you're getting some additional exercise for muscles that have more capacity to lift than weaker ones, and it just assists you in breaking through plateaus and stuff in that way. Something important to note is that you're really going to want to set this up exactly the same way every time and be very consistent with it so that your 1 rep maxes are actually accurate. And here's just another way to set up the bands. You can set them up, as I said, any way you want as long as it's consistent. I don't really like this setup as much because it's hard to get it really consistent, but in a pinch this still works as well. Okay, so those are the 2 numbers you're going to need for the deadlift. Those are your 2 1 rep maxes because there is no suspended 1 rep max, and you'll see why in a bit. Most people just don't have the equipment to do a suspended deadlift, and it would be kind of a weird exercise anyway. So moving on to the overhead press. So you're just going to want to warm up and then do your normal 1 rep max, just like we did with the deadlift, and then you're going to find your accommodated max as well. This is a very strange setup for an accommodated overhead press. Ideally you'd want the bands going straight down, as because this way you kind of have to lean forward and stuff. It's not ideal. I'm going to rig something up that allows that, but for now that's what I'm doing in a pinch. So next up, you need your 1 rep max for your suspended training, and for suspended training, I'm not sure what the actual name for this is. There probably is one, but I'm just calling it suspended training. It's very uncommon, not really commonly performed. But basically you do something like this where you loop the resistance band through your weight, and you put on the edges of your barbell to basically make the barbell less stable. And then you're reacting to the changes in inertia caused by the weights, and they're swinging when you're doing the reps. As you'll be able to see when I do a rep in a second here, it's definitely shakier. Like it's definitely you're definitely reacting to the weight swinging around. And if you need a little bit more weight and you don't have multiple bands, you can do this and just add another weight like that. And then you put that on the bar, and then you keep going. We're trying to find our max again, so just keep going until we do. And even this, like you can see how unstable the bar is getting, which is good. Makes it hard to control. Obviously, try not to injure yourself. Like I'm sure this is more dangerous than a typical overhead press, but so be careful. But But theoretically, yeah, it should be a very good exercise for all your stabilizers. You can see I'm struggling to keep the bar straight and everything. If you don't feel safe doing this standing, just do it sitting. It probably is a safer method, but I've been doing overhead presses standing for months now, so I'm just used to it. So once you're done that, you write those numbers in, and next we do the squat. So once again, same thing for the squat, warm up, and then do your 1 rep max in the normal way. There you go. Just work your way up to it slowly. As many as you need to. It's around there. I'd probably say that's probably around my 1 rep max. I'm not totally sure. Just that's what it's going to be for the video. And then I've added some bands here. And as you can see, I'm working my way back up to the weight because, you know, it's safer to start a little lower because it is a different sensation to lift with the bands. And then I'm going to get back up to where my 1 rep max was and then add some more weight here and find out what my accommodated 1 rep max is. So as you can see, my accommodated 1 rep max is about 50 pounds higher than the normal 1 rep max, which is good because it means near the top part of that motion I have another 50 pounds that's exercising those muscles that would be affected in that range. So suspended training is the same. I didn't have enough. You'd want every weight to be hanging, but I just didn't have enough bands to demonstrate that at the time, so they're not. But ideally, yeah, every weight should be suspended. You shouldn't really have any on the bar itself that are not attached without the resistance bands. It'll make it a lot harder that way too. So lastly, we have the bench press, and for the bench press, we're doing the exact same thing. Just warm up, do your normal 1 rep max here, and you can do your accommodated max. And as you can see, the accommodated max is about 50 pounds higher again, something like that, which is nice because it gets you used to unracking those heavier weights and getting set up. And just gets your muscles and bone structure used to holding weights that heavy. And after that, you'll find your suspended 1 rep max for the bench press. And as I said before, I just didn't have enough bands, but all the weights should be suspended. There shouldn't be any that are just on the bar like that, ideally, just to make it more difficult and have you use more stabilizers. So after you finish the first wave or week, you just need to make sure that all your new 1 rep maxes have been entered into the Google Sheet, and it'll auto-calculate the rest of your month's exercises for you. And as you can see, wave 2, which could be considered week 2, session 1 of that, it's automatically randomized this for me. So it says it wants me to do a deadlift, and it wants it to be accommodated, and it's giving me the weights it wants me to do. As you can see, there's 4 warm-up sets and then 3 working sets of weights, and then below that you can see there's accessories, and these accessories are also auto-generated, and you can modify the Google Sheets to add your own. It's very simple. So for the ones I already have in there that say 10 RM or 10 rep max, that means your 10 rep max weight, so whatever weight you'd only be able to do 10 of the exercise at, and then just do 50 reps. Not all at once or anything, just get 50 reps done. That's what it means. These are done after the your initial main lift. And how these work is basically, you can see it says beginner, intermediate, advanced, etc. So if you're a beginner, you would just do up to the beginner one, which in this case is rotator cuff times 100. If you're intermediate, you would do the rotator cuff times 100, and then you would do the curls at your 10 rep max times 50. And then if you're advanced, you would do also triceps at your 10 rep max times 50. So you kind of had to decide what your endurance is and what your skill level is when it comes to weightlifting and experience for how many accessories you should be doing each session. Additionally, I haven't implemented it yet, but it would be easily possible to also randomize some cardio at the end of each workout if it's desirable. I don't know if anybody wants that. If they do, they can just let me know and I'll add it into the Google Sheet. But hopefully that was enough of an overview to understand how the NAS training program works and how the Google Sheet works. Additionally, there is a log for your gains, basically, where you do your 1 rep maxes and you log them. I'm going to modify this to also have your actual strength ratio versus body weight in it as well, so that should be in there by the time you grab the sheet if you want to try this program, and it'll keep track of your progress. And I think that's enough of an overview to get people started on this. So if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. And other than that, hope this program works well for you if you want to try it. And cool. Let me know if you have any feedback, because I want to evolve this program over time and make it as effective as possible for as many people as possible. So thanks for watching.